LaCroix, welcome to
Oh no.
welcome to the party. My co-host Michael finally has a face cam. I'm using my DSLR camera, so this is a little different for me. Still
I
getting
just
used to it.
realized my cameras are the images reversed on the stream and I hate it.
No, not is it?
It's like
It looks.
yeah, it's like drama on Entourage. Like I
Oh.
never go left.
Oh yeah, like I was looking at I took a picture for like a badge for my job, and I looked like at myself straight ahead, and I'm like, is my nose broken? Like it doesn't look right.
Is that how I always look?
Yeah,
Like
like
24/7.
Like my nose is kind of crooked, but hello everybody, welcome to a kind of fun stream. We've been kind of out of it since we interviewed Michael Darrow. Just because the holidays we're busy, we got stuff going on. So today we're embracing it and talking about our favorite Christmas songs, which will be fun. And
Our favorite subject, the subject that everybody else hates tremendously.
I don't understand. I mean, I do understand it, but I also don't understand it.
I think it's like a retail worker thing, which is weird because I've been in retail for like 11 years now, and people who work retail hate Christmas music because there's just like a month and a half straight where that's all you hear, and it's the same 10 songs just by different artists over and over again.
Oh, I'm into it. I'm a big fan of it. That's how I think I got into Christmas music. Was like my first job at Publix. Gonna take a shot for every time Mariah Carey is mentioned. I think you might be pretty safe. I think Michael's post was a little exaggerated, but I do really enjoy the song.
It'd only be mentioned once, I think.
Spookernatural. That's what's up. Welcome to the stream. I want to talk about this before we really touch bases with Christmas music. Do you get anxiety doing this, or is it just me?
Doing like the stream?
Yeah, doing like the podcast thing.
Now that my face is on camera, I definitely get anxiety doing it. It wasn't so much when it was just me talking, even though I don't like listening to my voice either. At the beginning, I think it's always a little bit nerve-wracking, but then once we get like in the flow of things, it's a little bit easier.
I think for me, it's being long-winded and talking a lot that makes it more tense for me. So
I hate that because like the longer I talk, at a certain point my brain's like, you don't remember how to breathe as you're talking, and then I start like,
yeah, that's exactly. And then when we got mics up to our faces, and like, is everyone hearing me go? And stuff,
am I like hyperventilating into the mic?
Yeah,
are you hearing my panic attack?
Exactly. So I'm like, I overthink it. I'm like, I already like can't breathe from like talking too much, and I haven't said a word. But
that's what was nice about when we were recording it for Spotify, and we had kind of like the protection of being able to like, if we said something stupid, it's like, all right, just like cut that out.
Yeah, but I think like this lets it flow a little bit more natural, and just having like the live reaction from the chat and everything is really kind of cool compared to.
I like that. I like being able to talk with like the chat in real time and everything, and people just chime in, and it's that part of it's really nice.
Yeah, I think so, and so that was one thing I wanted to talk about, just because I was thinking about. I was like, yeah, I just feeling kind of shaken up just from having to talk too much, and then overthinking it, but.
I think we live in like the generation of constant anxiety, so I think it's relatable.
Yeah, I'm glad it is. But I have something else that's not very Christmas related. Also, is
it Hanukkah related?
The Christmas decoration that we put up around here. I gave myself some lights, but Michael didn't get any lights because I didn't think it would work out like this, and it worked out really well. But
I have like I have just a little light that I'm trying to shine in my face so I could be like my best possible e-boy self.
It looks good. It definitely feels like it came together having both of us have a camera.
If we keep doing this, I'll try and get some lights at some point so I can have the aesthetic.
Oh, we're gonna keep doing it. But so this is not Christmas related, but it is music related. I saw a meme I wanted to talk about in the Beatles shit posting group. Chris, your webcam makes me feel like I don't have glasses on occasionally. That is because my DSLR camera doesn't like to focus, so it's a little blurry if I do that. Hey, look at that.
Can you set it to manual focus, or is it just like...
That's my hand. I don't want to do it on... how's that? That's a little bit better. I don't want to deal with that on stream, because then it's like I'll get lost in it, but...
Why don't you zoom in so we can see every pore on your face?
You can see every pore on my hand. Hey, here I am. What was I gonna say? So there's a meme in the Beatles shitposting group that
which we are proud members of.
Loud and proud, brother. It was a picture of the poorly drawn, or like the really nice drawn horse, and then half of the horse is drawn very poorly to like kind of describe something. And so the very well drawn horse said Abbey Road, right? And then the poorly drawn horse at the end was Her Majesty. You get it? You get it? But like you get the meme format, right?
Yeah, I get the meme format.
I want to post it on the I don't know if I want to post it on here. I'll post it later. But I think I finally found something that captures my opinion very accurately on Abbey
I don't
Road.
know. I think the joke kind of went over my head. Is this like a anti like Her Majesty thing?
Yes, but in my case, it is not anti Her Majesty. It's just, that's what it is. It's
Why? I don't. It's like 20 seconds of Paul and like acoustic guitar.
But it takes you're listening to the end, and this is like literally the end of the Beatles' career, and then it builds up, and then it's over, and then 20 seconds of cute little Her Majesty plays, and you're like, oh well, it's not entirely over. It's also the least played song by them on Spotify too. Like I found that out today. Yeah, because it's 20 seconds and no one ever listens. I don't know. I always turn it off after the end. I don't know.
That's crazy. I've listened to that so many more times than other Beatles songs on Spotify.
Really, that's like your number one?
Not my number one, but it's not last place either.
That's fair.
That reminded me of while we're on the subject of memes from the Beatles shit posting group, and I know I sent you this, but there was a meme of what's his name? Wow, I'm having a total like blank right now. Travis Scott. It was the meme of Travis Scott like when he was apologizing for Astroworld, but it was like me when I'm listening to She's Leaving Home, and that's me, but I'm actually crying and not pretending to cry.
Yeah, I think you sent me that yesterday. That's a very accurate meme. But I wanted to like that was like my one topic I wanted to bring up. I was like, I saw it like in the middle of the day, and I was like, this is gonna be great for later. I just gotta bring it up, and I'm glad I remembered it. I actually saved it. I'll send it to you later. But shall we get into some Christmas music? Should I put on like some vibey Christmas stuff, or will that interrupt the pod? I feel like it's like we're talking, where it'll interrupt the podcast a little bit. I don't know.
Let's just shoot through it.
Okay. So what I did was I need to open this up real quick. I made a list of 5 songs, my favorite Christmas songs. I don't think in a particular order, and I have some special shout outs at the end.
Mine's not in an order either. Mine's just kind of, although number 1 is very particular and is there for a certain reason, but the rest of it's kind of just like whatever.
I hope to see if we have some of the same stuff.
We may not. This will be interesting though.
So yeah, just like favorite Christmas songs that stand out to us, and I tried to make a point to not use traditional Christmas songs, but I do want to have a special shout out for some of them at the end. Stuff like I think
that's a good idea because none of mine are traditional Christmas songs. I was going for like modern, well,
or
kind of
original songs.
Original Christmas songs. One of them is a variation of a traditional Christmas song.
That's what I have.
It is different, so
I have one of those as well, and it's just it does stick out, and it has its own place. I feel like so. Do you want to start, or do you want me to start?
You can start.
Oh, great! So
are we gonna go back and forth, or are we just gonna do like?
Yeah, we can do back and forth, so I can kind of set up the format here. So can't breathe.
I'm joking.
So my first song, and I'm going right back around to the traditional Christmas song. I don't have any of those. Is a traditional Christmas song. And no, it's not going to be all alternative crazy shit like this. The Little Drummer Boy, covered by August Burns Red, and I'll shed some light real quick. August Burns Red has been very well known for putting out Christmas renditions and covers, and they are instrumental. Usually, so it's more I
feel like that's the only way that works. I don't know if I could listen to a Christmas song if it had just like metalcore screaming.
Yeah, it's more, what's the word, friendly to everyone. And hold on, we're getting some fucking frame drops right now.
Yeah, I saw.
Internet's taking a hit. That's great. It's when I start streaming. So sorry everybody if it's just taking a massive dump skis. Oh yeah, it's oh my god, it's not doing great right now. So this is interrupting the podcast.
Thank you, Xfinity.
Thank you for ruining everything, Xfinity.
You
Okay,
ruined our Christmas.
we're back in the green, so we're right back where we started. I chose The Little Drummer Boy by August Burns Red, and the reason I picked it is because I think the original song has like it's very catchy. It has like the main melody or whatever is catchy, and August Burns Red does a lot of like crazy fast like metalcore riffage into their Christmas songs, and it's like, whoa, this is like Christmas but it's crazy, you know? That's like the stick to it. But this one is very slow. The guitar has like a lot of reverb on it. It's really drony sounding, but it's like kind of whimsical, and it's just like it's really magical sounding, and I don't know if that's a good word to use, but
I was gonna say that's the first time I've heard August Burns Red described as magical.
I want you to listen to it at some point. It's very it's just kind of different from every other Christmas cover they do. And if you're a fan of August Burns Red, you know what I'm talking about. It's kind of like, oh, we're gonna take the main vocal melody of the song, make it the riff, put some blast beats under it, Christmas. But no, it's just way different, and it's great. And so also I'm gonna give a shout out real quick to the runner-up, Dandy Warhol's cover of it is very fantastic too. It's just
that's on my Christmas playlist, I think.
It's just like, oh, it's quirky Little Drummer Boy, and that's it. So that's my first song.
I believe Bright Eyes does a cover of it too.
Yes, they do. I've seen that as well.
That one's not bad too. So since we did modern takes on traditional songs first, I will do mine. And that is Angels We Have Heard on High, which I believe is a traditional song. But this is a variation of it by the always wonderful, very folky Sufjan Stevens.
Very nice.
The reason that this is different is because the melody is actually a little bit different, but there's a kind of Sufjan twist on all of the lyrics. Like a lot of talk about like flying saucers and stuff like that, but still very Christmassy. I think this may have came out around the time when The Age of Odds came out, so there's a lot of like UFO visual stuff going on. But this is part of an album called Silver and Gold, which is a double album of all just like Christmas covers by Sufjan, and it's really great. And I always put it on. Yeah, it's a double album. Who knew there were that many Christmas songs?
So it's massive, is what you're saying.
It's massive. It's like enough to take up an entire Christmas morning.
Wow. I think my Christmas playlist has like 70 songs on it, and I think it's like it's a variation of
Mine's got 10.
it's a whole Christmas like a few Christmas compilations, and then I've taken even stuff from like movie soundtracks to video game soundtracks. But yeah, I didn't expect Sufjan Stevens for some reason, but he has a very Christmas sounding voice.
He has 100 Christmas songs. How could you not expect one to be on there?
He has 100 Christmas songs. Jesus,
it might not be that many, but it's quite a bit. And there's some like original ones, and there's a lot of traditional ones too.
Very cool. Would you like me? I guess I'm next, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So my next one I'm picking it might not be of like an actual Christmas song. It's my interpretation of it. But Boxing Day by Blink-182 will be on the list as well, just because it's got a very unique sound to it, being like it was their first single for their last EP as the original Blink-182, Dogs Eating Dogs, and it came out around Christmas time, but it was a single from Blink after Neighborhoods, and it was all acoustic, and it had like acoustic bass in it. And it was like, this is very different sounding, and it's just like, it's pretty unique sounding for Blink, and it was in a special time in life. I think I was like in junior in high school, so I was like, oh, new Blink, and I'm in high school. This is crazy. Like, this is peak right now. So I put it on the list as one of my favorites, and I always come back to it every year.
That is a good EP. It's kind of a shame that it flew under the radar, I think.
I've seen people say like, oh, this is the best they've sounded in like ever. Like, even it's like a better Neighborhoods.
It was people just saying, oh, Neighborhoods was shit, but this was actually decent.
It's crazy though, because Neighborhoods was not shit. I loved it.
I love Neighborhoods. Neighborhoods, a lot, like I would say half of the album I connected with when it came out, but now going back to it and revisiting, I definitely appreciate it a lot more. And you can't, you can't look at it as like a traditional Blink album because it's not really. There's too many other influences going on. It's a little bit of a more mature Blink, but I respect that now.
Yeah, I mean, there was like you told me the other day, like you're like, oh, Fighting the Gravity is like one of the worst songs on the album. And I was like, I used to think that, but now going back, I really appreciate the song for what it is and how it is pretty unique amongst the Blink discography. And
I always really liked Even If She Falls, and I think a lot of the Blink fans took a shit on it because it was like, oh, this is just Tom trying to be Angels and Airwaves on Blink.
And I will let it happen. I don't care. Not for a second.
Yeah, it's a beautiful song.
That's probably one of my favorites too. Between like that Ghost on the Dance Floor and This Is Home. Those are like my favorites. And I don't know, it's just very good. Okay, I'm passing along to you.
Oh, you went already? Okay. That's right,
yeah,
you did
Boxing Day, yeah. And then we went off into like a Blink spiral.
So the next one I'm gonna pick is Donna and Blitzen, which is by a band. I think it's one person technically, but the band is Badly Drawn Boy, and this is the songs from the soundtrack for the movie About a Boy, which I've actually never watched and I need to watch. About a Boy is kind of one of those movies regarded as a classic. It was written by Nick Hornsby, who wrote High Fidelity as well. Which I love. I'm a huge High Fidelity fan. But it's a Christmas song from the movie. The whole soundtrack was written by Badly Drawn Boy. It plays in retail stores, which is where I know it from. Most of the songs that I picked are from like when I've worked in stores and I've heard them in my store.
Mm-hmm.
But I really like it just because it's really kind of like bouncy and it's really fun. But it's got like the traditional like Christmas instruments, and it's one of those songs that I listen to and it makes me just feel a lot better and puts me in a good mood.
That's what I feel like Christmas music is for.
I actually listen to it the rest of the year too. I don't just listen to it at Christmas.
Oh, I can't listen to Christmas music during like the not Christmas part of the year. I feel like it's a crime to put myself in that kind of mood, and then it's just like there's no presents, so
arrest this man, officer.
Yeah, like there's no presents. Don't even do it. So, but so is the movie a Christmas movie?
I don't think so. I think it's maybe in the sense that like every movie that I watch that has a Christmas scene in it, I consider a Christmas movie. Like Serendipity takes place partially during Christmas, so I consider it a Christmas movie.
Oh,
Same thing with
it's like Die Hard. Yeah, it's a Die Hard situation.
Same thing with Just Friends. Just Friends is a huge Christmas movie as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I also that's 100% a Christmas movie. Okay,
I'll have to watch it one day and I guess figure it out at that point.
Well, I'll go ahead and name my next song. We're at like 2 out of 5 already. Okay, so this is the third song. I'm reading down my list and seeing what deserves to go next. I'm going to go with Father Christmas by the Kinks.
Yep. It was going to be one of my honorable mentions. I wanted to put it on my list, but it didn't quite make it.
I guess I wanted to just say Father Christmas in general, but I think the Kinks are the original artists that wrote it, so I'm crediting them in this. And I think back then, especially in like the 60s or maybe 70s, I could be wrong, it seemed kind of like a breakthrough to put out like a really like rock and rollin' Christmas song like this. Kinks are like not punk, but like
it is though. I was gonna say it's not even just rock and roll. Like this is a precursor to punk. Like in the same way that the Stooges are a precursor to punk in the 60s. This is like maybe the first punk rock Christmas song.
Yeah, so that's why like this sticks out to me, and I want to give a shout out to Man Overboard's cover of it from like Punk Goes Christmas like a few years ago, because that was the first time I heard the song, and I went back to like all the other covers. I went back to like Cheap Trick's cover, which is also really good, and I'm like, oh, the Kinks are the original writers of it, so every version of it's really good, and it's really unique, and it's just so like, different. And I'm saying that for every song. I'm sorry.
I love the Kinks. I've always loved the Kinks. I don't know their whole discography, I guess, but going back to their version, it's kind of cool to see like in the 60s like how angsty that version sounds and how much energy that version has.
Yeah.
Because it feels like a punk rock song.
Yeah, that's
I don't know what it's about. It's about like stealing money, I guess.
I think it's about being a kid and
being like
Christmas.
A snot-nosed like punk ass kid.
Yeah, being a punk ass bitch. And
sounds like maybe like a gang of like these like these fucking like street hooligans that just like take money from people.
Yeah.
I don't know
Well,
how that's a Christmas song, but it's great.
but it's badass. But
It is.
every time Christmas rolls around, that's like the first song I put on. So it's also like a big significance in what time it is, you know. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'll pass it along to you.
My next song, this is a certified Christmas classic as far as I'm concerned. There's a lot of covers of this song. This is
Certified.
certified Bob, 100%. It's got the Michael seal of approval.
Nice.
And I hear this. I was talking to you about this. I actually haven't heard this in my store yet this year. And then I walked into Publix on lunch today and it was playing. And I was like, holy shit, I forgot how good this song is. The song's 2,000 Miles by Pretenders. And there's so many covers of this song. This is one of the songs that I hear covers of all day normally during Christmas time. There's a Coldplay cover. There's a bunch of other covers. The reason I like this song is because I like sad music, and anybody that's been following this podcast for a while knows that I'm all about sad music.
Mm.
And this is there's some sad Christmas music on my list, but this is a really beautiful song in general. One of the lines where she sings about how she dreams about this guy outside standing under the purple sky, and it's the imagery is really fantastic in it, and I love it. And she says he'll be back at Christmas time, and it feels very hopeful, even though it feels sad. But I love it.
That's pretty. I didn't I didn't expect any of these songs to be like on your list. I think I know your number one because it might also be my number one.
Also, the
But
main melody in 2,000 Miles. Sorry, but like when the song starts, the melody just kind of fades in, and it's this really beautiful like guitar melody, and that's one of my favorite things about the song.
very nice. I guess we are moving along pretty nicely. We're at like
Yeah.
30 minutes, so a nice little mini episode until we come back around with like the regular scheduled content. So my next song is going to be. This was a hard one to pick because I had to pick between like all four songs on the EP, but I chose "Mr. Winter" by The Main, and because here, let me explain. This is from their 2008 Christmas EP and a Happy New Year, which I think came out around the same time as Can't Stop Won't Stop when they were signed to Fearless. And so that EP had Ho Ho Hopefully, Santa Stole My Girlfriend or whatever, and Mr. Winter, and I think it was a cover of Last Christmas by Wham. And this
That's
song,
a classic.
this is like this song out of all of them sounds very like The Main, what their iconic sound is. And I almost went to pick one of the songs off their recent Christmas EP, like their 2-song EP, but I realized this is like more. This definitely comes on a lot more when it's Christmas time for me. It's really decent pop rock. Decent's a good word, right? And the second I hear like the first guitar riff or the little delay, reverby guitar notes, I'm like, we're in it. Like it's time for The Main Christmas, you know. And super good song. Definitely recommend listening to that EP, and also listening to their later EP. What was it called? And To All a Good Night, which was definitely more mature. But yeah, this main EP is super classic, especially for Christmas music. So I always got to put on this song.
All right.
I think we should make a playlist.
Uh-oh.
Hold on, we're back. Okay, we should make a playlist for all these songs when we're done.
We can do that.
We can do that. Okay, we can do that.
We can do that.
We can do that.
So the next one I'm going to talk about, this is one of my favorite Christmas songs to talk about. And this it's not the one you're thinking of, but you've probably heard me rant about it before.
I think I have.
I discovered this song back when I was working for PetSmart, probably my first or second year in retail. And a lot of people who have worked retail have heard this song at some point. I don't know if anybody would remember it, except maybe for its weird little quirks that it's got going on. The song is One Christmas Catalog, and
I knew it.
It's by Captain Sensible. And Captain Sensible was a co-founder of the punk rock band The Damned back in the 70s, I think. And then in the 80s, he did his own solo stuff and kind of did like the whole like new wave thing. And One Christmas Catalog is a very 80s new wave song. But the reason that this is one of my favorite songs is because one, it is please what is it because I'm talking about the creepy Christmas song? And I'll talk about why it's creepy in a second here. The reason I like this song is because the melody is really great, and I was never really big into new wave, but when new wave is good, it's really good.
Yeah, that's true. That's like my exact opinion on new wave.
Yeah, it's like it's either bad and it's like hokey, or it's like really good.
Yeah.
So the melody of this song's really, really good. Captain Sensible's voice is a little different, but this is definitely a non-traditional Christmas song. I have no idea what it's about. You can find the music video for it on YouTube, and it's also weird. It looks like an old 80s like Christmas like montage thing.
That's the fun, is that you don't know what it's about.
Yeah. But so then in the choruses and the bridge in the song, there's this really weird thing that happens where him and a backup singer are singing One Christmas Catalog, but then every time he says it, there's like this creepy robot voice that comes in and just says Christmas. Yeah, Christmas. Like, so that happens in the chorus. But then there's this bridge where it just happens over and over again. And the female singer is just like, so this is Christmas. And then you just hear this voice, this like kind of like old man robot voice that comes in. It's just like Christmas. And it just Christmas. And it just happens over and over again. And it's so out of left field that the first time I heard it, I was like, what is this? But when I worked at PetSmart, me and one of my friends that was a manager, every time it would come on, just from across the store, we'd be like, Christmas. And it just like, it entertained us like all day.
And then it probably gave you a reason to look forward to Christmas every year. Does that play in your store now or no?
It doesn't play in my store. I've heard from people, I've seen in comments on YouTube that it played in a lot of department stores like Macy's and things like that.
You know what was the funny thing about retail is that you discover some of the strangest songs, or like the things you thought you should have known. So the first time I heard Paul McCartney's Wonderful Christmas Time was in a Publix at like 4 a.m. and I was like, why does this sound like the Beatles? And it was like, oh shit, I did like Shazam or whatever. I'm like, that's a Paul McCartney song, and it's Christmas, and it's got a really weird eerie synth in it, and I like it.
This is that had to be like during, I'm assuming, maybe after, I know what is it, Ram came out, or whenever he started getting into like synthesizers.
It was
a lot.
1980, I think, on the dot.
So it's weird. It's one of those songs that has like 180 million plays on Spotify, but if you ask anybody about it, they're like, I fucking hate it.
Yeah,
like, it's the worst Christmas song.
It's got 180 million views, and no one likes it.
Nobody likes it. Yeah, nobody likes it though. It's like fruitcake. It's like somehow like fruitcake sells every year, but nobody actually likes eating it.
Yeah, it's really...
I love it though. I actually really happen to like the song a lot. It's a little repetitive, and there's been tons and tons of covers of it, but the original version, the Paul McCartney version, is great.
Yeah, it's simple, and like it's got a Beatle on it, so you know it's gonna be not too bad. But should I?
All right, what's number one?
Number one, and I don't know if you can see this coming. Also, Spooker Natural said please to the playlist, but also saw One Christmas Catalog coming, which I think we all did. But my number one song, because it hits the vibe, and it's I swore I'd stop burping on podcast, but it hits the vibe. It brings,
stick the whole microphone in your mouth next time you do it.
Like gorilla.
Yeah.
What was I going? Okay, so it's got the Christmas vibe. It makes you feel.
Little drum roll
here. All right, it's Christmas Lights by Coldplay.
Oh, that's not what I was expecting.
Is that yours too?
That's my number one as well.
Let's talk about this.
Let's talk about it. Let's chat shit.
Let's get into this.
Why is this your number one?
Because I think it's the exact same reason it's your number one. Because the Viva La Vida is such a great record. This was like the last remnants of Viva La Vida, because they released it in between between Milo Xyloto and Viva La Vida.
This is the end of the Viva La Vida era for me. And it goes out on a bang. Like, it's Christmas. And I remember it coming out, and like Milo Xyloto was supposed to be coming out after that, I think. And I'm just like, all right, cool. We got another Viva La Vida coming, like another same style.
And then it wasn't.
It wasn't. It was similar, but I mean, it was like a futuristic Viva La Vida.
But like and this song really made you feel like it fucking hurt, but it was a
hurts,
good
yeah.
kind of hurt. And
It hurts good, and it's the lyrics really do it justice. It's the lyrics talk about it's like a breakup, I guess, a breakup right before Christmas, and Chris talks about getting super drunk and wandering the streets while like singing out of tune while he's like, oh, maybe if I go back to the street, maybe like I'll get her back. And it's super heartbreaking, but it's super beautiful.
yeah, exactly. And like also musically, it's such a good song. I'm such a journalist. It's such a good song because it's a good song.
It's a good song because it sounds good.
But one of my favorite things about the song, and I didn't appreciate this more when I was younger, but now when I listen to it, when the swing, like the sloppy sounding swing comes in at the end, when the whole song comes together and it kind of explodes.
And kind of like the chorus singing and like the choir while that's all going on.
Yeah.
And shout out to the music video, because the music video really perfectly represents everything that this song feels like.
It's got the drunken Elvis in it and everything.
I love that, and that is my favorite moment in that song, because of the melody of that line. But there's that part in the music video where he talks about how he's drunk, and he says like some drunken Elvis singing. I go singing out of tune,
and then sings it perfectly in tune.
And sings it perfectly in tune, and the melody's beautiful. But you see like those three Elvises with violins just come like flying in on like a little cloud, and the stage is beautiful. It's got the Viva La Vida aesthetic. It goes into that whole part where the camera just zooms out, and they're playing on this like stage that's lit up by like Christmas lights. And then the camera pans and you see a boat off in the distance and everybody on the boat singing along to the song, and it's fucking beautiful.
It really is. It's permanently imprinted in my brain, and I have to listen to it like more than enough times every single year. It brings back a lot of memories from just being younger and in that like the whole Viva La Vida era. And it's such a good song, and Yellow Card covers it, and I don't appreciate it. And
I don't. I wish I could. And it's not because I don't appreciate the whole Punk Goes Christmas thing. But you're trying to, I think the sound of it, the whole Viva La Vida sound of that song is one of the things that I appreciate so much about it. Mm-hmm. And so trying to do it any other way just doesn't work for me.
I think I definitely do appreciate that they covered it, whether the label told them to cover it or not, but someone had it on their mind. And I guess I appreciate that.
Somebody was like, hey, one of the biggest bands in the world just did this Christmas song. You should go cover it. But
now the older I get, the more I think, man, bands releasing original Christmas songs is kind of cringy. Looking back on it, unless it's done very well, I think when bands be like, we're putting out this cheesy ass Christmas song now, I think it's kind of lame. And I picked like the ones that are either, just like straight up Christmas, like the Little Drummer Boy cover, or this one from the 60s, but like Boxing Day, even Mr. Winter and Christmas Lights, they're Christmas songs, but they're just like there's other values to it. Mr. Winter, it definitely feels more like it's a song about winter rather Christmas, and it's yeah. But I think it's getting a little cheesy. So the songs we do have on, I do appreciate for what they are.
What's an honorable mention?
All right. As far as a traditional Christmas song, no matter who does it, I always really enjoy it just because I think it's so catchy. Winter Wonderland. And
side note, Goldfrapp does a really, really good cover of that.
I'll have to check it out.
It's very electronic, and her voice is kind of just spacey and floaty, and it's weird sounding, but it fits the song very well.
And if you think you haven't heard it, listen to it. I'm sure you've probably heard it. I like even the version that's going around on TikTok right now from like Pitch Perfect weather, where it's Anna Kendrick and Snoop Dogg. Like even that's like catchy. It's a little stupid sounding, but I think it's super catchy. Who was it? Gwen Stefani and Michael Bublé. Like their covers of it are fantastic. They're also on my honorable mentions as far as like Christmas compilations or albums. Michael Bublé is a classic, and Gwen Stefani's You Make Me Feel Like Christmas, or You Make It Feel Like Christmas, is just kind of like really good. Just great renditions of all of them. Like nice big band, but still kind of poppy.
I know a lot of people really look forward to like the Michael Bublé music during Christmas time.
He thought out, and it's almost time for him to go back into his hole, unfortunately. But yes, when he's around, it's great.
I've got two honorable mentions, and One is Christmas Time by Smashing Pumpkins,
Okay.
because I'm a diehard Smashing Pumpkins stan. Plus, it sounds very traditional, and I like that about it. And Corgan always had a really beautiful voice when it came to like softer music, so I also appreciate that. My other honorable mention is I can't remember. This is gonna sound bad. I can't remember the name of the song, but it's by Owl City, and it's the
Peppermint
one.
Winter.
Nope, not that one. The other one.
Ooh, Humbug.
Is it Humbug? The one where he talks about basically anxiety from like shopping for
Yeah.
Christmas gifts
Humbug.
and like yeah. So and he's like talks about how he's gonna throw himself out the window and kill himself basically, but it's all like really like peppy and cheerful.
I want to give a shout out to Peppermint Winter and also Kiss Me Babe, It's Christmas Time. That Peppermint Winter is his like very old dream poppy sounding Christmas song, and then Kiss Me Babe, It's Christmas Time is when he started breaking out into like the generics and like sellout pop, but it was still like it's great for the season.
Okay.
Well,
that's all I had. I guess honorable mention to the Hanukkah song by Adam Sandler as well too.
We just watched 8 Crazy Nights. Well, I just watched it for the first time. Kaylin's seen it, but that was my first time watching it.
I've never watched it. I'm a bad Jew.
It was good. It was like 2002, so it was still pretty old Sandler, and like that was the best kind. But it did have his Hanukkah song play at the end, and it names off all the Jewish celebrities and stuff. I was like, I didn't know Jack Black was Jewish, but
yeah, I didn't know that either.
But
I
yeah.
love that song. That also plays in my store, which is weird. But I love Adam Sandler's voice, like his singing voice.
Yeah, he's got a good voice.
He does, and it's catchy, and it's fun, and it's basically the only Hanukkah song we have. So
disappointed the Die Hard soundtrack wasn't mentioned at all.
Yeah, that is kind of a shame. That was a miss on our part. I think
maybe next year.
Failed the vibe check.
Yeah, we didn't pass. I think I mentioned it already, but a contrast between the mains and a Happy New Year EP and To All a Good Night EP. I wanted to really touch base on this quickly. I still suggest check out their first Christmas EP. It's very good traditional, the main sounding music with the Christmas theming. But And To All a Good Night, the EP they released, I believe 2017. It was 2 songs, and they're both in the new modern main sound, which is very folky, very reverby, and very sad. And I think that deserves a very special shout out because I only listen to these 2 songs around Christmas time, and it's just they're so good, and they make you feel, and it makes you feel like let's see, the best way I could describe it when I was thinking about it earlier was you feel like you're in like your skyscraper apartment building, and it's snowing outside, and you got like your fireplace going, and you're just like, it's got a big vibe to it like that. And if that doesn't like set a mood, then I don't know what does. But that's what I get every time I put it on.
The American dream.
I would take it. I'd take it in a heartbeat.
Same.
And it's just a good vibe. But I think that's all I have.
Yep, that's all I had.
This was kind of this was a good little topic. We literally discussed it about like 6 hours ago. It was like, hey, let's put something out tonight. And like, all right, what do you want to do? Check out Christmas songs. And like, perfect. It is like 2 days before Christmas. And I know a lot of people are busy. So if you took the time to listen to this, then I really appreciate it. We'll be back the January, probably. We might throw out something like late December for like a podcast. But we got some interviews coming up in January, and I'm really excited. And
we've got I kind of want to like throw this out and see what like how the chat feels about it. But we're looking at for like our next big topic probably in January. We're looking at doing an episode on like the occult and like supernatural in music because there's a lot of interesting stories. But let us know if you think that would be something that like you guys would be interested in.
Yeah,
I mean, I have a couple stories from bands that I like a lot that are really really interesting. Stuff about like Ouija boards, stuff about like selling your soul to the devil,
ghost girl shit.
Ghost girl shit, yeah, like witch shit. But I think it would be a fun topic, and there's a lot. I mean, rock and roll's always been kind of plagued by like the devil and like the whole supernatural thing, so I think there's a lot of stuff to talk about with it.
And it would be a classic Sound Corner episode of us really deep diving and doing some research on topics before getting out there behind the mic. That's some classic stuff right there.
Yeah.
And we're definitely going to do some fun like Reddit streams listening to music with probably a few guest listeners along with us, and we got
Yeah,
some cool
I
stuff
know
planned.
we were talking about doing so there's a subreddit called Listen to This, which is just where people recommend random music of like all genres. So I know we were kind of talking about doing a stream where we go listen to some of that stuff and just like do a hot or not thing, basically. Like
Yeah,
we're like high school kids.
yeah, I think it'd be really fun, and it'd give us a chance to explore some new music and give you guys a chance to find something cool too, or something that we could just absolutely roast. I know a lot of people put their hard work into these songs, but sometimes they need a good roast, but we still respect it, right?
Yep.
But I think that's all from us. I will drop. Oh, just join the Sound Corner group on Facebook. Stay updated with live streams, discussions, and more. Does the Discord link work? Not really. Yeah, oh, it does. So join the Discord. Join our Facebook group if you want to keep updated with us. We appreciate you hanging out. This will be on YouTube most likely tomorrow, and so if you want to listen to it on your commute, etc., while you're playing video games. But thanks for hanging out with us, and we'll see you guys soon.
Merry Christmas to everybody.
Merry Christmas.
Happy Hanukkah, happy Kwanzaa, happy holidays. Whatever
Happy
you
New
celebrate.
Year.
Happy New Year's.
Enjoy.
That's the holiday where we just get fucking wasted.
Yeah, that's a good holiday. But
That's Christmas too, now that I think about it.
yeah, the older we get, yeah. But everyone enjoy your night, and we'll see you next time.